So there's nothing Domonique Foxworth and I love more than psychoanalyzing people we don't know. So let's jump right into it. What did you take away from that?
I don't think this is very difficult to psychoanalyze. Like, Aaron Rodgers has been playing quarterback in the NFL for a long time. He knows how to answer questions. And he made a decision sometime this offseason that he was going to make himself the protagonist of this NFL season. And at every turn, he's done something or said something that put him squarely at our attention. And that was an easy question. So you're saying you love being a Packer? Yes. The end. Unless you want to create some sort of kerfuffle, and then you say, well, I love playing football. Like, that is obvious. It seems like the most aggressive, passive-aggressive thing that you can do after just complimenting the general manager.
Well, Dianna, let me come to you last because I know what you're going to say, and then it's going to. I want to keep. I want to keep the momentum on this. David, what do you think of that? What do you think of him saying that?
I think he absolutely soaks this up. I don't know what the heck a kerfuffle is or whatever
I was thinking
just
the same
said, but I
thing.
do. He soaks it up. He soaks it up. I think he loves it. He's showing his toe off in press conferences.
Exactly.
He's letting you know he's injured. Like, every part about this, man, I think it's like, okay, I'll take the attention. And, by the way, he's balling. He's balling out of his mind. So it's working. Keep taking shots. Keep doing whatever you need to do. Keep saying whatever you need to say on McAfee because it's working and they're winning games.
Yeah, I mean, Tim, going back to the quarterback piece of this, I've had people suggest he's playing better than he ever has before in his entire career. What do you see?
I think he's playing probably as well as he's ever played. I mean, he's doing it all right now. He's been outstanding. And look, Greeny, I think you probably remember in the offseason, there was a lot of talk about, what is his future in Green Bay? And my position really hasn't changed on this. I think if they win the Super Bowl, he's back. I think if they don't win the Super Bowl, it's less likely that he's back and maybe probable that he's not. All of that to say, if you just look at what he's done the previous 3 seasons and what he's done this year, and then taking into consideration what we saw from Jordan Love in that game against Kansas City, like, I don't know how you let him leave that building with how well he's playing right now. I don't. Regardless of what he's saying, I just think you're on his timeline now. And maybe you weren't prior to this season, but I think you're on his timeline.
Oh, yeah. You lock the doors. I mean, you do whatever you have to do. You can't let that man out. But I saved the best for last year because, Dianna, there are a lot of people, myself included, who have seen the way this season has gone and thought to myself, oh, now, why would he leave? He's going to stay in Green Bay. When you talk to people around the league, what do you hear?
Yeah, the sense I get from talking to different people around the league is that there's going to be more drama to follow, and that Aaron Rodgers is most likely going to leave the Green Bay Packers organization. And, we talked about that in the offseason leading into this year, that this was going to be it for him. I don't think a Super Bowl is going to matter. I don't think that people around this league think that if Aaron Rodgers wins a Super Bowl with Green Bay, that means he's going to stay. I think he likes the idea of an option of going to a different place and winning. I think this is why we're seeing a quarterback who I don't think he's playing like it's a farewell tour, but he's certainly playing with a lot of fun, with ease, because he knows he is in the driver's seat for his future.
But again, to underline it, the people you talk to around the league still believe he's out of there after this year.
Yeah.
I mean, Dominique, how do they let that happen? You have to move heaven and earth, whatever you have to do. You can't let him go.
And Aaron said it, Pat, that he talks to a lot of players and people with other teams.
Yeah.
He's having conversations with a lot of people, not to join the team, but people know how he feels about the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like something happened at some point in the last season or so where, and it probably was the drafting of Jordan Love, that the scales fell from his eyes. And he's looking around the league at other situations, and he's attracted to those situations, which is fine. And while I think it sounds critical to point out how he's putting his toe on the screen and he's always finding a way to draw attention to himself, he's reading a list of grievances he has with the organization. Like, it sounds like we're being critical by pointing those things out. I personally love it, but I also don't want to pretend like Aaron Rodgers isn't orchestrating this and he's not putting himself squarely in the middle of our attention week after week, because he's doing it on Pat McAfee's show, which is a fantastic show. Pat is great, but Pat himself would not pretend like he's some sort of hard-hitting gotcha journalist. Pat is throwing the man softballs. He's giving him an opportunity and a platform to say exactly what he wants, and it seems like week after week what he wants to say is whatever's going to get us talking about him again.
Yeah, look, to me, right now, he's the MVP of the league. I said that yesterday. Absolutely. And if they have to move whatever they have to move to not.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.